reports.
The U.S. Secretary of Commerce is in Nigeria alongside leading American businessmen and women to better understand the opportunities and challenges of doing business in Nigeria at the instance of President Barack Obama. President Muhammadu Buhari described as fulfilling the ongoing collaboration and cooperation between the United States and his administration, especially on security and issues of development. He is particularly grateful to America for sending experts to train Nigerian troops as well as provide military hardware in support of stabilization efforts towards enabling the country move forward. The president also used the opportunity to formally thank the United States government for the reception accorded him when he visited Washington last year, where challenges of security, corruption, infrastructure, and many other issues were discussed. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who was at the meeting, said although Nigeria currently faces serious challenges, it is also a time of great opportunities for the country. As he puts it, it is a time to diversify the nation's economy through agriculture and solid minerals, as well as developing the infrastructure in order to aid business. The U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Penny Pritzker, said the team is optimistic about the commitment of the Buhari administration to security, good governance, and fighting corruption through reliable regulatory policies. This optimism, she said, is what informed the desire of the United States government to partner with Nigeria. Meanwhile, Governor Abiola Ajimobi of Oyo State has lent his voice behind the renewed onslaught against corruption by the Buhari administration, saying it is inescapable if Nigeria is to move forward.
The thought of the president's fight against corruption is the beginning of wisdom. And all of us must jointly support and commend the president for his commitment, his stoic stance to pursue corruption. And all those who are saying, oh, nothing, they now see that there is a lot in there. And I think we should all support him. And it's not the only one who will fight it. It's all of us together.
Governor Ajimobi was in the State House to formally notify President Muhammadu Buhari about the demise of Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Samuel Odulano Odugade I.
Olubadan developed many great Nigerians as a teacher, as a philanthropist, as an educationist, and as a royal father. Hence, we thought his passage.
Investment. Nigeria may have struck the right chord in the international community in its move to diversify the economy and encourage direct foreign investment. Attesting to this is the presence of a 58-man trade delegation from the United States, which is presently testing the Nigerian economic waters through discussions with stakeholders. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo had a roundtable discussion with the delegation. State House correspondent Jide Onifadi has the report.
The goal of the visit and the roundtable is to engage in robust discussions on doing business in Nigeria and Nigerians' infrastructural needs, with a view of increasing trade investment between both countries. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the roundtable says it is no longer in vogue to talk about problems, but the opportunities that can be exploited to meet societal needs.
I think we're tired of using the expression challenging or difficult or crisis, and I think it really is a very interesting time. The opportunities are immense, even as we know just how big the problems are.
Apart from the in-depth explanation by the Vice President, some ministers and key officers took turn to make presentations on areas such as electricity, road, agriculture, health and manufacturing, stressing the efforts being made to strengthen necessary infrastructure.
Bill, their contributions focus on how to implement the budget, with majority emphasizing the need to address decay in critical infrastructure such as roads and diversify the economy away from over-reliance on oil.
It is good to borrow. If we borrow to fit our roads, borrow to fix our power supplies, borrow for housing.
Projects that have been commenced by previous governments should be completed.
This budget should seek to invest enough time, effort, and money in providing yields through extension services and better systems.
And I hope that the allocation for the roads will be equitably shared among the geopolitical zones. We are here to make laws. We have to prioritize our bills and give preference to those bills that can enhance revenue generation.
The female senators also made a case for special attention for women.
The APC, in its manifesto, mentioned that there is need for an all-encompassing empowerment program for Nigerian women. Such comprehensive empowerment requires funds, which should be included in the budget.
Meanwhile, the Senate President Abubakar Saraki has hosted a team of power sector investors from Portugal and pledged the Senate's commitment to make Nigerian laws more investor-friendly.
The major issue is to now take out all the bottlenecks or the challenges or the issues that would convert this great idea into reality.
And the Senate Committee on Marine Transport held a meeting with heads of agencies in the sector. Issues of how to make Nigeria's waterways safer and efficient took center stage.
So we have to make sure that we make these agencies to work as they are supposed to do.
From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Still at the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has rounded off debate on the 2016 budget proposal. On a major note, it urged the federal government to increase budgetary allocation to agriculture as a major step towards diversifying Nigeria's economy. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko reports.
The House resumed debate on the 2016 budget proposal as members frowned at the allocation to agriculture, especially now that the nation is in search of alternative source of revenue.
We give due attention to three critical sectors of agriculture: solid minerals development and science and technology, human and infrastructure development, agriculture, education.
For me, it's a wake-up call for diversification of our resources.
It is not that these budgets are that bad, but one of the major constraints of our budget is the problem of implementation.
It behoves on every one of us to look at the welfare and security of the people.
So I think we should declare a state of emergency in the defense sector.
I also think we should decongest NNPC.
But like Oliver Twist, education should be given more.
I will plead with my colleagues that this budget is realizable. When we come to the level of committee level, we should submit.
This is one budget that I probably will want to call an incomplete document. The figures doesn't tally.
An interactive meeting with the Senate Committee on Culture and Tourism. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
The minister pointed out to the committee the need to amend laws on establishment of tourism sites and guiding tourism activities in the country. Other areas of concern, according to the minister, include the need to reduce airline charges, which remain exorbitant of other developing nations.
We are losing them in great numbers, and this is why we need the support of the Senate to assist us either in the area of passing laws or even direct intervention to ensure that tourism becomes a money spinner.
I believe too that if we all join hands together, we'll be able to deliver to our people.
The committee meeting had in attendance executives of all agencies managing the tourism sector in Nigeria. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister has also restated that the federal government's anti-corruption stance is not to vilify anyone, but a deliberate move to sensitize Nigerians on the enormity of danger corruption has caused the country. Alhaji Lai Muhammadu was addressing a media briefing in Abuja. Anthony Folson reports.
Since the Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed disclosed that some 55 Nigerians allegedly stole the sum of 1.34 trillion naira between 2006 and 2013 at the launch of the National Sensitization Campaign Against Corruption, the issue has continued to elicit high degree of public interest. However, Lai Mohammed says as noble as the federal government's anti-corruption campaign is, there are people who are bent on discrediting government.
They have been creating distractions by sponsoring articles in both local and international media to deride the government's policies generally, to tag the president a budget dictator, and even right up the entire 2016 budget. We know that the sole purpose of these attacks is to distract attention from the war on corruption. It is sadly that some otherwise credible voices have unwittingly allowed themselves to be railroaded into the bandwagon of pro-corruption orchestra.
The minister explained that with the Treasury single account system in place, government has substantially blocked loopholes which were used in siphoning money.
MPR at 11%, liquidity ratio at 30%, and the asymmetric corridor at plus 200 basis points and minus 700 basis points.
It was a unanimous resolution by 10 of the 12-member Monetary Policy Committee present, taking into account Nigeria's development priorities in response to emerging scenarios. With inflation rate at under 10%, GDP growth rate at under 3%, official exchange rate consistent at 197 naira to a dollar, but with question mark on huge gap between official and parallel market rates. Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele says sound monetary policies are being directed at funding critical sectors that will generate employment and economic growth.
The committee once again urged deposit money banks to improve lending to the real sector as part of their patriotic obligations to the country, and enjoined the management of the bank to continue to explore ways of incentivizing lending to employment.
Governor Emefiele affirmed that implementation of the 50 naira stamp duty will shore up government revenue as conscious effort is being made to support the real sector and boost the nation's foreign reserves currently at $28 billion. In spite of the headwinds being witnessed in the economy, the central bank governor assures that he remains optimistic with the sound monetary, fiscal and external policies being initiated by government that Nigerians will have cause to cheer in a matter of time. In Abuja, Cliff Ayozie, NTA News.
Distributable revenue in the month of December for the 3 tiers of government stood at 387.77 billion naira due to the reduction in federal export sales and a drop in the price of crude oil at the global market. The excess crude account currently stands at $2.258 billion. Leah Katumba Batune has details of the monthly Federation Accounts Allocation Committee meeting.
Of the 387.771 billion naira distributed, exchange gain was 4.351 billion naira and 6.33 billion naira was refunded by the NNPC. Additionally, $150 million NLNG dividend was distributed to the 3 tiers of government during the month under review. Gross statutory revenue was 315.019 billion naira and value added tax 62.071 billion naira,
which is 17.889% more than what was distributed.
A company owned by Olisa Metu. That document also comes with an e-payment bank schedule and mandate as an annexure which confirms the transfer. The other documents are petitions from the Office of the National Security Advisor to the EFCC regarding the transfers. Defense Counsel had objected to the admissibility of these documents on the grounds that they were tendered by a person who was not the maker of the document. But in a bench ruling, Justice Okon Abang overruled the objection, stating that a legal advisor in the Office of the National Security Advisor who was tendering the document in evidence was competent, being a public servant in the service of the federal government who are the complainants and prosecutors in the case.
Something is obvious here. The system is working, and that is the beauty of a democratic governance. The government thinks it has a case, it brings the case to court. The court is there sitting, listening to the witnesses. The prosecution has presented a witness, and we are at liberty to cross-examine, and we have done so to our satisfaction.
The case was adjourned to Wednesday 27th for the hearing of arguments in the application for variation of bail conditions and the continuation of trial. Meanwhile, the trial of former Imo State Governor Ikedior Hakim continues before Justice Adeni Ademola on Wednesday. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
The Counter-terrorism Crisis Response Working Group, being coordinated by the Office of the National Security Advisor (NSA), will conduct simulation exercises on prompt response to terror attack at selected public buildings in Abuja. The objective of the simulation exercise is to develop the Federal Capital Territory's crisis response doctrine to dynamic attack in Abuja. The simulation exercise will be conducted on the 1st of February 2016 by 9 in the morning within the precinct of Garki Mall near the Garki International Market, while another exercise will come up on the 2nd of February 2016 at the International Conference Center, Area 10, Garki, Abuja, by 9 in the morning. A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Minister of Information and Culture, Joseph Muta, urged the general public, especially persons living in the Federal Capital Territory, and advised them not to panic, as the simulation exercise is a preemptive and precautionary measure against terror attacks.
And quality-built home in the serene and secure environment of Sunrise Hills. Experience this uplifting lifestyle with breathtaking views of the city. Rise above. Sunrise Hills is unlike anything you've ever seen before. A new way of life is dawning in the heart of Nigeria.
Come, let's roll out the drums to celebrate our alma mater of Yejide Girls Grammar School, Molete, Ibadan at 60 on 1st February 2016. You can send in your profile, Google messages, share past school photographs that tell stories, or place adverts along with your personal photograph. Also join us at our general meetings. For further details, please contact these numbers: 0806 378 1845 or 0802 31 90939 or email yejideoldgirls@gmail.com. Anniversary Planning Committee Announcer.
Hello! Would you like some water? It's cold, especially for you.
Which era are you living in? We have a fridge.
When everything else in your house is from the present, then why are your toilet cleaning methods from the past? Harpic all-in-one for you. Compared to other toilet cleaners, Harpic removes top stains, kills all germs, and removes bad odors. For a shining, clean, and fresh toilet.
Wow!
You should also take the Harpic
all-in-one challenge.
Most people avoid the tough jobs. We're different. We're not here to complain that things are broken. We're here to fix them. You need someone that'll take the tough decisions and stand by their word. To do that, you need the best of the best. Physically, mentally. So it doesn't matter if it's creating opportunities or supporting economies. We know it's a tough job. But hey, somebody's got to do it. We are Fidelity. We keep our word.
This is to inform the general public of the inauguration of Governor-elect of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Adoza Bello, coming up on Wednesday, 27th January 2016 at the Confluence Stadium in Lokoja. Invited guests and accredited journalists are to be seated before the commencement of event at 10 a.m.
Your favorite pictures of Lucky, your beloved Bingo, on the internet. And maybe Lucky could be all the rage. Think 10 megabytes. Wow! Let us upload a video of Lucky. Now Lucky is a YouTube sensation. Okay, 500 megabytes. Ooh! Lucky selfies, Lucky album downloads, Lucky Instagram photo bomb. 1 gig? Watch Lucky take the red carpet live at his new movie premiere and watch the making of his latest music video featuring Omawumi. You have brought Lucky this far on 1 gig. Just take a couple of seconds to think how far you're gonna get on Glow Internet.
Get Glow's new bumper offer. Get 4.5 gigabytes for just 2,500 naira or 9 gigabytes for just 4,000 naira. Add an extra 1 gigabyte data booster for only 500 naira. Dial *777 hash to access the plan.
Welcome to the next generation network. Glow Unlimited.
Thank you for remaining there on Network News. The Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, is in China with that of Transportation Minister Rotimi Amechi to seek for a $2.5 billion concessional loan from the China Export-Import Bank, the EXIM. Julieta Aino reports that the effort is aimed at reviving Nigeria's railway projects and to stimulate other infrastructural development.
It was a critical national need that brought Nigeria's Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun and Minister of Transport Rotimi Amechi to Beijing, China. It was a need for the Chinese government's support on several infrastructural projects, specifically that of rail transportation, the Lagos-Kano Rail and the Coastal Line Railway,
which will link up really a lot of our economic activity, and we believe will create about 250,000 new jobs, both in railway and in support services, and open up huge opportunities in agriculture, in manufacturing, and will create a lot of employment in our rural areas. So we're very excited about this. We had very positive meetings with the Minister of Finance of China and of China Exim Bank, and we're looking forward to completing our negotiations very shortly.
Meetings with China's Exim Bank management and the Chinese Minister of Finance Xi Yaobin yielded positive comments from the Chinese side. The Chinese minister pledged support for the Nigerian projects, recognizing its importance in the country's economic development and employment creation. Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun assured the Chinese side that Nigeria will adopt the most cost-effective implementation strategies.
We're trying to borrow as cheaply as possible, and this is export credit agreement. So they're supporting Chinese companies to do business in Nigeria, and in exchange they're giving us some very concessional money. So we're quite happy with the rate and happy with the long tenure and the long moratorium period, which means that the project will actually start generating money before we have to start paying back, which is very, very important for us.
The Minister of Transport Rotimi Amechi also asked for support in the training of skilled labor to support the railway projects. Negotiations for the $2.5 billion concessional loan agreement are expected to be completed for signature when President Buhari visits China in April. From Beijing, China, Julieta Aino, NTA News.
The federal government says it will expedite action on
Ruben Okala, NTA News.
The Nigeria Customs Service is working towards a single window that will provide importers and trading partners full automation services. Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, stated this in Abuja at the commemoration of the 2016 International Customs Day in Nigeria. Correspondent Shegun Alawale reports.
The 2016 International Customs Day is dedicated to promoting the digitization of customs process and the use of ICT with the theme Digital Customs, Progressive Engagement. And in line with the global best practice, most of the operations of the Nigerian customs are set to be digitized since 2013 as the organization, through a single window, transits fully to an automated service no sooner the 2016 budget becomes operational.
Hopefully, that will get to a point where, as an importer, you may not need any contact with any human being once you can access your keyboard.
As the day is commemorated, some compliance operatives, partner agencies, individuals and organizations received recognition for their contributions to deployment and transparent use of e-platforms.
Any act calculated to distort and compromise the integrity of e-custom will not be tolerated and will be met with appropriate sanction.
This is the time to call forth your patriotism as Nigerians to ensure that Nigeria does not only survive, but she thrives.
Some partner agencies and organizations underscored the essence of agency collaboration in the face of the dwindling resources facing the country. From the Nigerian Customs Command and Staff College, Abuja, Shegulawale, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Vera in our Lagos Network Center brings us details of stories making the headlines in Lagos. Top on their lineup, Aviation Minister in court. Vera, tell us the details of that story.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos will, on the 2nd of February, deliver judgment on the fundamental human rights enforcement suit filed by the former Aviation Minister, Stella Odua. The suit, which was fixed for judgment today, could not proceed due to the absence of Justice Okon Abank, who has been transferred from Lagos to Abuja division of the court. The applicant and former aviation minister Stilodwa. The parade of some suspected cult members in Lagos. Adobe Ubechina completes the story.
In response to the court clash between two rival court groups in Bariga, Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Fatai Owesheni, said the group members' clash led to certain abuse of 53-year-old Mrs. Joke Amudat in her building.
Group of suspects, we are going to see 7 of them. The fellows, they're the criminals that have been arrested in connection with that incident. They are of the 2 rival cult groups, Eye and Aye.
In other developments, Mr. Owesheni also paraded a suspected armed robber who specialized in traffic robbery.
We won't allow just some criminal elements to continue to take people in Lagos into hostage.
Okay, when you get to the station, at the back of the counter, they bring me out again. That I should identify those 2 people that they dead. And I tell them this one is Daniel and this one is Abiye. That's just what I know.
So many things they happen. They kill my brother before I travel my village.
Just collect a handbag. That's what I collect for woman and I will go. Now just put on pocket and collect a wristwatch and I will go.
Items recovered from the suspects include pistol, 6 cartridges, and some motorcycles. In Lagos, Adobe Biechina, NTA News.
You're still on to NTA Network News at 9, reaching you from the Lagos Network Center. More stories from Abuja after this time out. Please stay with us.
My people, now how person fit take sabi suicide bomber self? Suicide bomber they always knack heavy cloth, or sometimes anyhow loose cloth when not delicate with the weather at all. They always carry big bag or many load like who they travel. They always tight hand like blow, or even put their hand inside pocket like who called the mama. Sometimes suicide bomber like to tanda alone, they fear. And they know they send waiting they happen around them all. Sometimes then they drive motor fast, fiam. And sometimes now so they go they drive slow, they terrage. If you shadow any kind load with them drop, or messing with kurukere waka when not pure, I beg, me will report and give police or other security agent one time. The security of we country, now everybody handy deal. Nigeria, may we unite against terrorism. If you not see something, may we not say something. Now Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, bring on this message you.
There's nothing I won't do to make you happy. When I find you one more, you'll be here. Yes, forever, wherever. However, the weather, tonight I'll borrow some of your time.
We are back with more names and personalized messages on our bottles and cans. So now you can share a Coke and a feeling with family and friends.
As the sun rises over the hills of Abuja, so too dawns a new standard of living. Enjoy your own quality-built home in the secure environment of Sunrise Hills. Experience this uplifting lifestyle with breathtaking views of the city. Rise above. Sunrise Hills is unlike anything you've ever seen before. A new way of life is dawning in the heart of Nigeria.
Rise up.
Feel the tasty, refreshing goodness of Chi iced tea.
Return to life. Rise up. Feel active alive.
Chi iced tea, made from premium natural tea leaves.
Rise up.
With delicious
solution to limiting e-fraud in the banking system. Recently, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation released deposit insurance guidelines on mobile payment system known as Pass-Through Deposit Insurance Scheme, with the aim of protecting mobile money subscribers, whereby the corporation ensures funds deposited by a mobile money operator. The MD of NDIC, Omar Ibrahim, sheds more light on the initiative.
Fraud generally in the electronic banking space is of general concern to everybody, and all concerned are doing everything to, in the first place, intensify public awareness. What we've done is to support that innovation by creating a framework to ensure that operators, depositors of mobile banks have their own deposits insured by us to the tune of 500,000 naira in the event that the banks, in this case the deposit money banks, that where their deposits are, in the event that they go under.
And a quick look at how the market fared at the close of today's trading. And that concludes business news. I am Chiazala Mekie. The news continues.
Vandalism, an upsurge to overbearing on an economy that government is battling to stabilize. This is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, informative, educative and engaging. Don't be told. Join us.
Are you aware that the death percentage attributed to Lassa fever cases is currently put at 43.2%, a figure considered very high? Lassa fever, an acute viral illness characterized by high fever, muscle aches, mouth ulcers and bleeding in the skin, is harbored by rats and spread to humans via the urine and droppings of rats. To prevent Lassa fever, avoid any exposure with rodents, rats, as well as food and objects contaminated with rat secretions and excretions. Report all suspected cases of Lassa fever immediately to the nearest healthcare institution. Help prevent Lassa fever. This message is from the federal government of Nigeria.
We announce the death of our father and patriarch, Chief Sir Ignatius Nongwangi, aged 73 years, who died on the 10th of January 2016 after a protracted illness. Until his death, he was one-time administrator of the FCT, Director of Finance, FCTA, Deputy Chairman.
In Australia, Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has cautioned on a proposal for Republic debate, saying the country has more urgent issues to tackle instead of pushing to become a republic. The caution came on the heel of the signing of a document to drop the Queen as head of state by almost all the Australian states and territorial leaders. For Global Tidbits, Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
And in sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles are on their way home following their loss to Rwanda in Chan 2016. Sports Minister inaugurates Nigeria House Project Committee. Ayodeji Makinde has details on Sports Update.
Home-based Super Eagles Tuesday evening were knocked out of the 2016 African Nations Championship in Rwanda following a lone goal defeat to Silly National of Guinea in the final Group C match. A first-half strike by Ibrahim Asankon saw Guinea finish second behind Tunisia, who thrashed Niger Republic by 5-0.
That means up to now, we've not gotten it right when it comes to issue of football in the African continent.
It's very sad, really sad. I was expecting us to go maybe to semi-finals or final itself in this competition, but it's unfortunate. I feel bad,
Youth and Sports Development Minister Solomon Dalun has inaugurated a 7-man Nigeria House Projects Committee. Their work is to promote discipline, interpersonal relationship, socio-economic and political development of Nigeria before, during and after the Games. Inaugurating the committee, Dalun charged them to assist the government to realize its objective of making the Rio 2016 Olympics a sporting success and an investment drive.
To once again appeal to the various federations, especially those bedeviled with internal wrangling, to bury the hatchet, sacrifice their personal interest for national interest.
Defending champion Novak Djokovic will yet again meet Roger Federer in the semi-final of the Australian Open after both recorded straight sets wins in their quarter-final matches. It is Federer's 12th semi-final in 13 years after he eased past Thomas Berdych 7-6, 6-2, 6-4. Meanwhile, Serena Williams remains in contention for a 22nd singles Grand Slam title after a 6-4, 6-1 defeat of Maria Sharapova in the quarterfinals. With sports updates, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
The burial is announced of Mrs. Dorcas Olufumike Olufade, age 86. Burial arrangements are as follows.
The day build-up of cloud is not unlikely around Calabar, Eket, Port Harcourt, and Yenagoa. Other places will still be under the influence of dust haze. And for the temperatures for the day, let's have a look. Well, that's the weather forecast from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. See you again.